Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
It'll be that board. Nope, the one that says threads. There you go. That one. It's
Better
okay.
watch it.
It's okay. It's okay, Mr. Moore. We'll manage this together.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Friday, guys. Today we're gonna be talking about threads, which I know that you guys want to learn about because it's all you guys have talked about for the last 3 days since threads became a thing. So I'm also gonna be posting a video on Tuesday, but I'm going to record it today. So any news that takes place between now and Tuesday will not be included in that video. So I'm giving you guys the heads up. You guys will clearly be able to see that that video was recorded today because I'll be wearing this exact outfit. But in short, for those who have missed all of the buzz, basically on Wednesday, Meta released a brand new app, social media platform called Threads. Threads is expected to reach 300 million downloads in the next 24 hours, making it the biggest and fastest growing social media platform like in its first week ever. So there's a lot to discuss here. I know that you guys have had a lot of questions. I'm going to do my best to answer them, keeping in mind that I really don't know much.
Just came out, yo.
Yeah, I can only teach based on what we know, based on what has been published already. But the short answers, this is an app by Instagram. I've had a lot of people contact me about, privacy concerns, privacy concerns. If you have allowed permissions to Instagram, these are the same permissions that you have already granted access to. Threads, from what I can tell, there's nothing additional that Threads is going to do or collect that you have not already likely granted permission through Meta, whether that be Facebook or Instagram. So that's one thing. Now, I do see that there are a couple countries where there are privacy concerns. I'm a little confused because I thought that those of you in the UK or EU, I thought that you guys didn't have access because it's available in 100 countries right now. But I saw Pam Duffy on there today. Pam, are you here? So I don't know exactly who has it and who doesn't. But if you're looking for it, it's going to be in your app store. You're going to want to search Threads by Instagram because it is an Instagram product. Threads is basically a Twitter clone. That is exactly what it is. It is Twitter, but they are going back to basics. It very much reminds me of when
It's Facebook Classic is what it is.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Facebook was brand new and the only thing that we did was post status updates.
It literally just looks like how Facebook looked 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, but because it's brand new, there's no politics. There's no right now. I'm not seeing many bots. It's staying very friendly, and that's supposed to be the whole point. It was introduced to be a positive space for discussions, to form communities. And right now I am really enjoying it. I normally don't get on the hype very much, but it definitely seems to be a more positive space, and I've enjoyed using it.
It's not available in the EU because of concerns of data privacy. Except they use the same stuff as Instagram, so that's
I wonder
pretty silly. Maybe there might be another thing or two that they're collecting on. But again, my opinion on it, like, unless access to your Threads account is an issue of national security, then you shouldn't be worried about your data privacy because there is no such thing as data privacy. It's a scam to make people upset.
Well, I'm a little I don't know. There's probably more to it than that. We just haven't researched that far.
I just looked it up.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's not in the EU. It's over data privacy concerns.
Right, but I'm saying the specific reason why. What is the data privacy concerns? So let me go over our quick points. 500 character limit for posts, which is significantly more than we have on Twitter. I have really enjoyed that. I feel like Twitter, I struggle to get a point across in whatever the character limit is over on Twitter. I don't think that, I'm not a fan of going and seeing a novel that I have to read, but a little longer than what Twitter allows. I really am enjoying that. You can share your threads directly to your Instagram feed and stories. I'm not a big fan of how it looks in the feed because we only have one option and it's like a black screen, or I think it's whatever your phone's like default. If it's dark mode, it'll be a black screen, I think. But I have shared one to my stories and I like the way that it looks. It was very seamless. Verified Instagram accounts are automatically verified over there. So if you've got the blue checkmark badge, it immediately translates over to your thread. You can set your threads account to be public or private within your settings. And I was just playing around with that a few minutes ago. It's super duper easy to do. My already got an audience over on Instagram. You can take that audience with you. So basically, when I created my Threads account, I was able to set it up, select to follow everybody that I already follow on our Handmade Alpha's Instagram. And if those people who I follow don't yet have Threads accounts, whenever they do create one, I'm already following them. So this is my favorite part, because when we start a new social media account, it really feels stressful to start from zero. It feels like you're starting from nothing. But for me personally, in the first few days that I've been able to play with it, it feels like the first day of high school, where you're surrounded with your friends and you're all figuring it out together. It's like you're in a new building and there's new rules and everything looks different, but you're surrounded by your friends and they're just as confused as you are, and you're all figuring it out together and having fun and laughing and exploring. That's very much how it's felt to me. And I've had so much fun, scrolling through everybody's posts, seeing everybody get silly. What I'm noticing about Threads already is that people are putting their unhinged content there. Like,
Good.
if you guys follow Wendy's on social media, they are a hilarious example of this, where everything that Wendy's posts, especially on their Twitter, is funny. It's not corporate, it's not serious, it is hilarious. They make it seem like an employee like got the login information and just went crazy on their social media and started posting silly things.
Unhinged.
I kind of like that. In fact, I've been debating my own Threads account. I'm like, do I want to post Etsy tips, or do I want to be like the unhinged Etsy coach here and be a little bit silly? So I'm still trying to decide which way I want to go with it.
I wonder who the app is aimed towards. Everyone.
Yeah,
No particular generation. It's for everybody.
It's very confusing because the Instagram demographics. I mean, they tend to be a little younger, though that has actually been changing a lot lately. We're seeing older audiences join Instagram as well. However, it's an older demographic on Twitter, and Threads is the mix of those two. So it's very interesting. So let's get into some of the details that I think are important as a business owner. First thing is that as of right now, if you try to delete your Threads account, because Threads is a part of a body, like if we're talking about, a full body.
It's an interconnected web.
Right. It's all together with your Instagram. It's basically your Instagram account, but on a platform that is kind of like Twitter. You essentially, when you delete that Threads account, it right now also deletes your Instagram account.
Don't delete your threads yet.
Don't delete your threads yet. Adam Mosseri, CEO of Instagram, has stated that they are working on a way to make it so that you can delete one without the other. But right now, it's almost like, it's two lungs, right? If you delete one lung, well, probably ain't going to live very long, you know? So right now they work together, but they are going to work on finding a way to get them separate. However, what you can do in the meantime is, I think I actually saved his exact wording so that we could have it in the event that anyone needs to get rid of it. Adam Masari said, I've been getting some questions about deleting your account. To clarify, you can deactivate your Threads account, which hides your Threads profile and content. You can set your profile to private, and you can delete individual Threads posts, all without deleting your Instagram account. Threads is powered by Instagram, so right now it's just one account, but we're looking into a way to delete your Threads account separately. So that was posted yesterday. It definitely sounds like they are working on it. I definitely can understand how it's concerning for those who, if they just want to try it out and they don't want to risk it being there forever. But as of right now, you can switch it so that no one can see anything that you've posted if you decide that for any reason you don't like the experience. So who's this good for? Well, it's good for businesses who have the ability, desire, or time to build a community and start discussions. Now, if you're one of those sellers who just wants to put a link somewhere and leave, or say, but here's my thing, buy it and leave, this is not going to be for you. And I honestly don't recommend signing up for it if that is, you know, if that's all you want to do, because you likely won't see results, and you would be better suited on a different platform, maybe like Pinterest, where you are speaking with your visual content. You're posting a photo and you're saying, you know, here's my picture, enjoy. You can click it and it'll take you to my Etsy shop. As of right now, Threads are very much a community where engagement is going to be key. Talking, discussions, starting
That's what it's for.
yeah, starting discussions. So if you are a business with a message, artists, if you have some, you know, specific purpose to your brand, for example, if you create products for dog owners, but you can also post funny stories about dogs, if you can post tips, you know, for example, 4th of July just passed by. Maybe, you know, next 4th of July, you're able to post things about fireworks safety for households with dogs, top summer fruits that dogs can eat, foods to never feed your dog. Oh, there was a recall on this dog food. And you're also able to sprinkle in things about your products naturally and organically, then that will fit. If you're an artist and you want to update people on your artwork and what you're doing, that'll fit. If you can tie a fun brand personality to your products and do something a little silly, that'll fit. But if you're one of those sellers who sells literally everything under the sun, you have no defined niche, you just are trying to money optimize, this probably isn't going to be for you. This is definitely going to be a platform that's more about genuine conversations, connecting with your audience, commenting back when they comment on your posts, and interacting. And I follow some big accounts already. And even those big accounts, I've been interacting and they've been interacting back with me. So that tells me that even the larger accounts and the celebrities understand what this app is all about. So I put on here mistakes to avoid. This app very much feels like it has been created as a way to get what was good about Twitter minus all the politics. So for now, but I'm going to guess that what the intention of this platform is a more positive space. So if you are running a business account, things that I would avoid are treating it like Twitter, you know, getting political, getting too personal. Keep it fun, keep it light, keep it like a cocktail party where you're in there having fun, you know.
I mean, really, you shouldn't be getting political unless your products specifically are political. Yeah.
Right. Like if you make, you know, political products, it's a little bit different. But I really feel like the purpose of this platform is to get away from that, because I think that people are burnt out on that. so that they're trying to create something fresh and new.
Also, I did want to say I'm not going to mention anything specific because I'm sure it'll upset some people, but careful if you do political shop. Etsy's really cracking down on hate speech. I've been seeing a lot in the Etsy communities of people getting shut down for putting what is borderline hate speech on POD products, and they're not playing around with it anymore.
Yeah,
So be real careful.
We've had quite a few people reach out to us about getting products deactivated. So if you run
shops,
yeah. So
full shops.
if you run like a political shop, just be careful about what you put on your products. Just keeping in mind that Etsy's policies, you know, are pretty tight when it comes to anything that could be considered hateful.
Yeah, they try to remain neutral. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. Hate speech on either side is still hate speech.
Yeah. So a couple things that people aren't really mentioning about Threads. When you upload a photo, there's no aspect ratio. No matter how you upload that photo, it is in the exact aspect ratio that you intend your viewers to see it. Whereas on Instagram, you've got two options, a perfect square, or, you know, they recently introduced portraits, which are a little taller than a square. But if you post a photo that is bigger than that, it will be cut off. Stories are obviously long, vertical format. There's no constraints. No matter how you post your photo, it will appear that way on Threads, which I thought was really interesting. There's no grid for your profile. So, for example, on Instagram, you go to somebody's profile, you look at their grid of posts, and you develop a first impression based on a lot of different posts, right? You see it all as one big picture. With Threads, it's all in a straight line. And I mean, unless the person is posting a lot of photos, it's not really branded. It is completely based on the text, on the posts themselves. So it's almost like first impressions are gathered a lot faster based on whatever the most recent post you've made is. Which again is why I think that we need to keep this platform fun and light. You know, you don't want to make your one stinky post be that point of contact where somebody goes to your profile for the first time and they see that, you know, you've posted something like a stinker where you've just like used your Threads account, your business account to vent about something that's not relevant to your audience. You know, that might turn them off and make them want to leave. So I think that keeping it fun, keeping it light, really letting your personality shine through is going to be key for success on this thing. I really love that we've got an Instagram button right in the top right. So if someone finds you on Threads, they can click that button, go straight to your Instagram. Your Instagram account right now shows what number you were in line to join Threads. I think that I'm like I think I'm like 56,000 or something silly like that, but I thought that that was cool. So if anybody that you follow on Instagram, you want to check out their Threads account, it's listed on their profile. Really love that. Something else I like is that it's harder to see your number of followers and video views in particular. You don't see the number of video views that you get. Now, obviously for businesses, a lot of us are going to say like, oh no, I need all the analytics. But at the same time, I kind of like it.
It's a good for mental health thing.
I kind of like it. I kind of like not having to obsess over how many video views that I'm getting, you know, how many I'm paying less attention to things like my follower numbers. Granted, I'm up to over 500 of them very, very quickly, but I'm not obsessing over it the way that I would in most new platforms. So I'm a big fan of that. I really like it. I think that they should keep it that way, though I would like to see some, you know, some business analytics in the future. Overall, I'm really happy with it. I've also had a couple people reach out about the cease and desist that Twitter sent to Meta. So I wanted to provide a little bit of clarification on that as well. As of right now, what we know, and you know, the allegations are that ex-Twitter employees took proprietary information that they had gained working for Twitter, and they went to work for Meta, and they developed this app using that proprietary information. Twitter did send Meta a cease and desist. However, I do not think that this is going to lead to Threads going away, especially with
No.
as quickly as it blew up. Now, the reason that Threads, came to be, or we can only speculate, is on the 1st, so 7 days ago, Elon Musk posted a tweet announcing that unverified users would only be able to see, or unverified new users.
Unverified users would be able to see 600 posts.
I've got it.
New would get 300. Yeah, and
New,
then verified accounts would see 6,000.
so basically turning Twitter into kind of pay to play. You have to have that verified paid account in order to see, all of your posts.
And I don't know the specifics, but it's for data scraping and system manipulation. So
right, they did it to try to eliminate, data scraping. But at the same time, you guys know, if you've ever been on Twitter, like 300 posts a day, you blow through that if you're somebody who actively uses it.
yeah.
So
blow through it in one visit to the toilet.
That's true. That's true. So we're happy to answer your questions on this. Again, we don't know very much, but for marketing, I think that moving forward, our aim should be focusing on genuine connections, focusing on conversations. Now, I am seeing a couple people who are trying to do this, and they're not doing it in the best way. For example, I'm seeing very generic questions that nobody's answering. For example, I saw a post, I think it was like a planner shop, and they were like, what do you do to organize your week? Post in the comments. I'm like, that doesn't really feel like anything that's fun to discuss,
No.
What's your favorite dog? Let me know in the comments. That's not really a discussion. That's kind of like, I don't know. It's like a dance monkey dance kind of thing. Haha, I'm just trying to get engagement. Post a one-word response. No, ask actual questions. Give a reason for people to give feedback. Start discussions. Ask questions that are going to trigger chatting, as opposed to tell me what you ate for breakfast today. That's not anything that people are going to be excited to chat about. I think it was a little different on Instagram because it's just like you're quickly scrolling through. I don't know. I'm just not seeing a lot of success with it in the few days that I've been on the app. So I dare say that we need to be a little bit more thoughtful on this one. We need to think. We need to think about the types of conversations that we want to have with our audience. We need to talk about things that we're actually passionate about rather than just trying to, use posts that are designed to kind of trap them into commenting, one-word answers in order to trigger engagement. I think that the objective here should be real engagement.
Also, I'm surprised you didn't cover it. It's probably because there's not a lot of information on it now, but it appears that they're going to have some kind of platform to be able to link threads with your own websites. As of right now, we're not sure what that's going to entail. We know that there's another social media platform that uses it, and that it can also be used with WordPress
and Mastodon.
And well, that was the other social media platform. I don't think anybody's ever heard of Mastodon, so I just we don't know what the extent of that's going to be yet, and I don't know what like data it's going to look at by doing that, so I don't know if we're going to go that far. But we'll see. I know somebody was talking about the lawsuit specifically. I don't think the lawsuit's going to have any weight. If it does, they'll most likely just change whatever little things the court says they need to change, and it'll still stay a platform. However, one of the things that I am kind of worried about with it, and this is obviously pure speculation at this point, with Meta having now Instagram, Facebook, which they had their shorts, which obviously it's a competitor to TikTok, right? And now they've got Threads, which is a competitor to Twitter. I'm worried that they're going to end up getting some monopoly practice lawsuits thrown their way because they're trying to create platforms to put everybody else out of business. Now, I don't think that's going to happen unless it's so successful that it actually like takes Twitter down.
They're calling it the Twitter killer.
If it actually does like put Twitter out of business, then they might be looking at some monopoly lawsuits. So I'm not sure, but
yeah, Science and Snark said saw Science
communicate.
I was like, commentator. I saw a science communicator I follow ask people to introduce themselves and what science they're into. Had over 300 comments last I checked. I think that's actually a pretty good one though, because especially if they're not like a business selling product and their whole thing is sharing and discussing, that makes sense to me. I actually do like that.
Me as well.
What are you doing?
Turning my fans down because I forgot to.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Should make our microphone sound a little bit better.
Yeah, it was a little loud.
It's Twitter that's taking Twitter down. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I was hoping Elon would do something good with that. Are they good to put in questions, or did you have further commentary? Because we don't have anything here.
Yeah, no, I'm fine to answer some questions if you guys have them. Now, I do want to say though, while he's looking for some questions, the accounts that you guys are gonna want to follow over on Threads, Adam Masari, you can just search him by searching Mosari, Mossari.
Easy enough to Google.
If you search Moss, he's like the first person that pops up. He is Instagram CEO. I recommend following him on both Threads and on Instagram because he's going to be the guy who will post when there are updates. He is phenomenal, posting updates every time there's a new Instagram feature, and I assume that it's going to be very much the same for Threads. I'm also a big fan of Brock Johnson. He is an Instagram guru. He is very young, super trendy. He always stays on top of things. I get a lot of really great information from him. So I recommend following him on both platforms as well, just because it's a good way to get feedback from somebody who doesn't directly work for the company, because he's not afraid to call out if there's something, weird or funky. But overall, I'm really excited. I'm excited because we don't see new social media platforms that do well. A couple years ago, the Vero app popped up and I was talking about it, how this might be the next big thing. But the problem with Vero was that it wasn't already owned by a big company. It came out of nowhere. It was cute. I had some fun with it, but it didn't stay successful. It almost reminded me of like original MySpace.
Well, the propaganda also killed that app.
Vero, I don't remember what happened with
something with Russian data, something or the other, because it was tied. There was a Russian company tied to it.
I don't even remember. It was
stereotypical xenophobic politics.
It was so long ago. I don't remember what exactly happened with it.
Does it connect to the Meta Business Suite, or will I have to manage it as a separate thing?
So as of
separate right now.
Yeah, as of right now, it's only 3 days old. So they haven't added any additional features other than those base level. But I will assume that because it is a Meta product, it will likely connect to the Meta Business Suite. Now, that's just me speculating, but I'm assuming that, unless they don't want us to schedule content there, like if they want it to remain an organic platform where we post actively and, we are actually posting by hand, I don't see why they wouldn't add it into the Meta Business Suite. I also predict that we will probably see some ads on it eventually. Right now, there are none. Everybody is asking that they keep it ad free, but I assume that it likely will have ads pretty soon. Go ahead.
I didn't.
Oh, did you have any more?
Tina had said like how TikTok is going to be banned in the US still hasn't happened. I don't think it's going to happen.
There's a couple states where it's been banned.
One state, and they immediately sued for freedom of speech violations and freedom of expression and all that kind of stuff because, and again, this is one of those things where it's xenophobic politics playing in. You got to remember that when it comes to like data collection, again, and it's my personal opinion being an ex-military intelligence analyst, I don't think that if them having access to your social media platform isn't a matter of national security, then people looking at your data doesn't matter. they're just using it to optimize advertising towards you. It doesn't matter who owns the platform. So people saying that China collecting data is a problem, it's just a way to make people upset at China collecting data. When US companies also collect data. Meta collects your data, Instagram collects your data, Twitter collects your data, your cell phone provider, your internet provider, your cable provider, they all collect your data, and most of those are US companies.
Right.
So
Even your smart TVs, they have little microphones.
yeah,
That
if your remote has the little microphone where you can talk into it to type things in, it's listening to you, so it can provide you better entertainment and more efficient advertising.
yeah, that's when it comes to anything related to data, he is the one person that I know that I can trust opinions on, just because that's literally like that was his whole job for.
Yeah, I think it's silly. And that's Sam H said the company themselves have decided not to launch in EU because of the regulation. In EU, they don't allow to take the data from one app and use it in another.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
However, it's not just the app. Even if they were to launch the app in the EU, it would likely immediately get banned because of the same exact reason, because of data privacy and data sharing issues.
It's very interesting though, that because I mean it's data that you have already opted to give permissions to
I don't
Instagram.
really pay a whole lot of mind to EU politics. They're seemingly very confusing a lot of the times anyway.
Yeah.
I hope Meta Business Suite doesn't link into Threads. I unlinked my Shopify from Meta because it was trying to take over all I had done to Shopify. Yeah, that's
Oh.
with Threads. I'm not sure if we're going to, because we use WordPress for our website, obviously. I don't know if we're going to integrate Threads into it or not. It really is just going to depend on the extent. It might be good if we could use it for support in some kind of way. If we were to use like how we have our student campus for Facebook, we could have a Threads, on the website itself specifically for the students. That might be pretty cool. Let's see here. Just going through. Wait, no. Woo. There we go.
I'm not a fan of Meta Business Suite at all.
Oh God, I hate it. And the thing that's really aggravating is when you're sitting and just trying to work on your like personal Facebook and you click something and it's like, here, let me take 10 seconds to switch over to your business account real quick. So you have to switch back.
Yeah, or you get a notification on your business page and right the moment when you're about to click your standard notifications and you accidentally click the notification and it switches you over. God, that happens to me like 10 times a day. Why do they make notifications pop up over your primary buttons that you use to navigate the app? Drives me crazy.
Sounds like what they're trying to do, what Sky Blue was originally for, a hub to connect people in one place. I sure hope it goes down that road.
I pray they don't take Pinterest.
I'm telling dog jokes. I'm not sure how many conversations that will start, but I want to start with something. Absolutely.
Yeah, those are shareable though. If they're funny and they're fun, I definitely think that they could be shareable. I love the watermelon tank top.
Somebody had said, how are you two in two different climates? She dresses like it's winter all year round.
Because you keep it so cold.
I keep the house at 74 and it usually rides around 75, 76, and she thinks it's cold. 76 is like warm, wear a tank top and short shorts weather outside.
This is my terrarium and I am a lizard.
Can I ask an Etsy question? You absolutely can. You can ask any kind of questions. When Etsy asks you to participate in a sale, do they help you make up the difference on your price on the item? 70% off can be a lot.
No. That don't participate in their sales if your prices are too low to afford whatever their recommended amount is. You don't have to participate. It's not something you have to do. It's just sometimes they like to do special little exclusive sales, and we all have the option to opt into them, but it's not going to make or break you. You can run your own sales. You don't need to participate in Etsy's big sales.
You had one person agree with you and everyone else says 74 is too hot. Yeah. It's probably because she's a small person.
I'm small.
If my niece tends to search single word keywords on Etsy, and I'm currently including those words in a series of words in my tags, should I also make a keyword of the single word to get an exact match?
If it's a single word, you'll exact match it, even if it is contained within a tag that also contains another word. That single word is in there. It is impossible not to exact match a single word, because that single word is It's as long as it's in there and there's a space in between it and the next word within a tag, you are exact matching for that word because that exact word is in there. If it's a keyword phrase like silver necklace and it's grouped in a tag, you'll exact match for silver necklace. If they just search necklace and the tag is silver necklace, you will exact match for necklace. If they just search silver, you will exact match for silver, even if it's in that one tag. Now, if you were to do it silver as one tag and necklace as another tag, and they search for silver necklace, that you would not get an exact match because they are not together within one tag. That would be a broad match.
I'm not seeing hashtags on any posts and threads. How do people who don't follow you find your posts?
Okay, so that's a good one that we didn't cover.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hashtags are not active in threads right now.
Yet.
Maybe they will be, but as of right now, hashtags are not active. Links are clickable, but I have had a few people say that they haven't been able to get them to work. I'm not quite sure why. I haven't had any issues with it. But to find new people, it's a little bit trickier. I personally experimented with it last night. First of all, when you sign up for your account, make sure that you import your Instagram audience. I had one person say that they didn't do that, and now they're starting from zero, and there's no way to go back and do it later, and she just has to start from zero, and that would really stink. Make sure that when you create your account, you select to follow all of your Instagram audience as well. But from there to find new people, it feels very much like the newbie internet days. There's no explore feed like we have on Instagram where we've got that cool little feed of interesting posts that we can scroll through and find new people to follow. So the way that I did it was last night I played around with doing keyword searches because any keywords that are in their bio are going to pull basically those accounts into your search page. So for example, last night I experimented with it by searching Etsy. Well, anybody who has Etsy shop or something, Etsy seller, visit my Etsy shop, yada, yada, somewhere in their bio, they would all pop up on that search page. I experimented again by searching cottagecore, thinking like, what if I was, can you stop it? What if I was a cottagecore business? So I searched cottagecore and anybody who had cottagecore in their bio would pop up. So I would think about the types of keywords from your ideal customers, things that they might have in their bios, maybe like, mom of 5, proud mommy of 5, something like that. Or, my dog is my life. Things that you can easily search for in order to identify people who might fall within your target audience. That's one way to do it. The other way that I was able to find some good accounts to follow was by going to pages. We'll just say Etsy's, for example, because I'm an Etsy coach. I want to follow Etsy sellers. But I went to Etsy's Threads account. I clicked on their post and started going through the profiles of the people who had commented on Etsy's post. And I was able to find a couple really good ones to follow. And then I was looking at some other brands and kind of seeing the types of people that follow them, maybe as more big brands. For example, if you make silver jewelry and Tiffany & Co. creates a Threads account, you can go through the people who are commenting on Tiffany & Co.'s jewelry, the ones who are saying, wow, this is beautiful. Wow, I love this. Go to their accounts, check them out, follow those accounts. It definitely feels like they're trying to keep it very natural where any way that they make it where it's easy to follow a large audience with the click of a button can be gamed and it can be taken advantage of by bots. So I think that they're trying to keep it very human. But as of right now, those seem to be the two best ways to reach a new audience.
What is the Meta Business Suite?
Your Meta Business Suite is if you have a Facebook business account, that is how you manage that page. If you've got an Instagram account that's also connected to your Facebook page, it will also exist within your Meta Business Suite so that you can look at your analytics, reply to conversations, and schedule out posts all from one place within your Facebook account rather than using an external scheduling app like Later or Tailwind or Hootsuite.
My best friend is so neurotic when it comes to data collection. I'm like, if you have a phone and are online, you're already getting your data collected. There's no getting away from it. Yeah, I just help them freak out. Be like, your TV's listening to you. Every website you go to is listening to you. Every store that you make a purchase with your debit card, your bank is selling that data. Everything you do on your phone, every app that you open, everything that you download, every bill that you pay using non-cash, all of that, every single one of those things is being collected.
Yep. It's very scary, very frustrating, but that's how it is.
It do be that way. Any downsides to limiting the quantity of items on Etsy? I'm POD, thinking of lowering quantity to create a need to get it now emotion for some items.
The only downside is if somebody, like, let's say that there's a group of groomers who all want to buy your shirts, for example, since you sell
Animal groomers.
Yeah, since you sell, yeah, you're a dog shop. If it's Thanks for specifying, Mr. Moore. I'm sure that
I had to. It's a hot topic with that YouTuber that got in trouble.
You're right. You're right.
I have to say it.
Context is important here.
Please only make shirts for those kinds.
Dog groomers. If you're selling shirts, with dogs on them, and you've got a group of dog groomers who all want a shirt, that could cause an issue. But I don't see anything wrong with it. It does work. It does promote scarcity. I wouldn't max out your quantities even at POD. I wouldn't max them out to like 999 products. Maybe if you want to experiment with it, try listing 10. Do 10 just to see. That way, if you have people who want more than that, you're able to, increase the quantity.
Did you hear about Smart Home that was shut down because of Amazon? No, I had not heard that.
No, but we'll definitely look into it.
Sure. Interesting that we left the EU. We still have the same GDPR regulations in the UK, but we're allowed to use it.
Yeah.
GDPR is interesting. Very, very interesting. A lot of people use those. We've had a few GDPR requests. Just a little bit of information for you guys. Sorry, somebody in the comments made me laugh. For you guys that actually go and like try to get your data deleted, make sure you're doing it personally, because there's a lot of people that will reach out using a third-party organization, and just confirming to a third-party organization that I have or anyone has your data is a violation of GDPR. So technically, using a third party, we don't have to respond to those requests. It's best if you reach out personally, and then if that doesn't work, then try to get a legal representative to do it for you.
Yeah. So if we get every few months we get an email from, we are reaching out to you on behalf of our client, blah, 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 and a request to, remove any data you may have, blah, blah, blah. But if we were to share, yes, we do have their data, we will remove it immediately. We just violated GDPR because we confirmed
that we have data that you are a member of our website to a third party, which is not a legal representative of you. Anyway, we'll move on from that.
Yeah.
Just a pro tip. Christmas in July. Do I go ahead and put out leftover Christmas items and do a big sale? Is that actually a shopping day or just a joke?
I mean, the worst case scenario is that nothing sells. But yeah, July is when we tend to see decent spikes for Christmas products. I mean, according to the data, if you can, log into eRank, type in Christmas, look at the number of sales in July or searches in July for Christmas products. I mean, it's not bad. It does have a little blip up. It's not, millions and millions of buyers. It's not like it is in November, but I dare say it's worth it, especially if you have some like leftover Christmas inventory from last year that you kind of want to get rid of. Yeah, I would say go ahead and do it.
All these people telling you that you're wrong.
I get cold.
Yeah, you're a lizard.
I get very cold.
Said that it's probably an iron deficiency. You're probably right. Oh my goodness. Oh, and say you're a lizard person. We are lizard people.
Yes.
That we can confirm I am a lizard person.
It is confirmed. I was Mark Zuckerberg when he was like, when I was a human, I mean, I am a human. I am a human.
No, he isn't. No, he isn't. Even if his body is human, there ain't nothing. There's not a billionaire on this planet whose brain is still human. You can't be. I wish Threads did what Instagram does to switch between accounts. It's a bit of a pain to switch between my personal and business account. Maybe they'll add it soon.
Yeah, I actually tagged them in a thread. Not that I think that they're looking, but I did tag them in a thread, and I was like, "Yo, hey, boo, we need a way to toggle accounts," because I'm trying. I talked to Anthony Wolf yesterday. I had a long meeting. Anthony Wolf, CEO of eRank, and I said, we need to get on Threads. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Set that up. And I said, I will, as soon as I figure out how to toggle accounts. Because as of right now, you have to either completely sign out or you have to create and log into the account on a separate device. And what a pain in the butt.
Pain in the booty.
Is. So eventually, I will get around to creating an eRank Threads account someday, some way.
It's not a priority. Social media isn't a huge thing for eRank right now anyway.
Yeah. Other than Tina, who helps us a lot.
Well, of course.
Tina, we love you.
I meant for communication. Did you already cover Etsy trying out allowing bidding on items? We talked about it in the last Friday Bean.
It's their make an offer type thing. Their little wheel and deal. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I don't really have any additional insight to share.
I don't see it becoming a big thing. I mean, for like vintage sellers, maybe it could be a thing, but unless Etsy really wants to turn into a platform where everyone has to figure out like how to highball everybody on all of their products in order to get people to like get the correct price when lowballing them on an offer, I don't think it's going to be popular. I think it'll get crapped on real quick.
Yeah.
If I have a listing with multiple variants and the listing is selling well, if all variations sell out, does that listing quality score reset when I renew the listing? No, it does not. It is the life of that listing.
Yeah, it's your whole listing. Variants included. It is just that whole listing quality score for that listing. If anything sells out, or if for any reason the listing, were to be deactivated, like maybe you deactivated it for a couple days for some reason. I mean, everything maintains as long as it's that same listing.
Did you find me for Cottagecore?
I might have. I don't know. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm already following you on Threads. But if you don't follow me yet, Handmade Alphas, I'm going to try to be active over there. I'm going to try to, because I want to learn about it. And the only way I can learn about it is by being active. So feel free to follow me. I'm sure he'll end up making an account too.
Someday.
Eventually.
Someday. Don't want him to collect my data. Can you...
You ain't got no data.
I ain't got no data. I've got all the data. Can you do a Meta Business Suite and Facebook creative demo sometime? I don't do any yet. Is one better than the other? Facebook creative demos.
I don't...
Crickle, crackle, throat noises.
Facebook creative. I don't even know what that is. Did I miss something major? Am I super behind on something? Meta Business Suite is its own demon, but what is Facebook creative and how did I miss it if it's something important? Feel free to let me know. Meta Business Suite, I mean, I could create a demo. I kind of have to show the back end of my Facebook, but I guess there's not really anything that I couldn't show. I can. There's not, I mean,
not live. Absolutely not live. We could record something.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. Feel free. I mean, I just need to know specifically like what you want to know. Do you want to learn about like how to check your analytics, scheduling posts, checking your messages? I could do that.
Any advice on using a VPN and using Etsy? I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that, and I mean, the chances are low, but not impossible. VPNs recycle IP addresses between users as they connect and disconnect. And if any of those IP addresses are associated with someone who's been banned, your account could possibly get banned. I don't know how deep Etsy's system goes with it, but Etsy says they don't like people using VPNs when they use the site. It also makes it look like there's multiple people logging into your account in different places in the world, depending on where you're connecting to. So I just wouldn't do it.
Look, there's Amber.
Hi.
Hi, Amber.
And I am a Taurus.
I think that was in reference to Tina.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. All right.
I am a Taurus. However, I do not believe in zodiac stuff.
Zodiac stuff.
Zodiac stuff. I don't think there's any validity to that, but we're not going to argue about that today.
You're gonna upset all the girls
I know.
in the chat
I don't
right
think
now.
there's any validity to it.
You're gonna upset them all.
Bill Nye has a pretty interesting video on zodiac signs and how they're not
Well, yeah, because
not correct, because the position in the sky actually changes, and it means that your zodiac in a couple of years probably won't be the same one you have now. Anyway,
that is true. If we're talking about actual astrophysics.
yeah, we're not gonna do that. Yep, Etsy does not like VPNs. Poop. What about Lemonade? Never heard of it.
I have, but I don't know enough about it. Here's the thing. Anything that we haven't actively heard of where everybody's like, what's that? It's probably not very big. Anytime that there's a social media platform or something that pops up and I'm like, I think I've heard of that. If it's not all over the place, it's probably not that big. In fact, Anthony Wolf and we sat down and we're looking at Go Imagine yesterday, because Go Imagine, they're doing some great Facebook ads right now where they're like, we are not Etsy. We are different than Etsy. And I know a few of you have had really bad experiences with Go Imagine, but they are trying to be what Etsy was originally, like starting out. However, we were looking at their traffic. I mean, it is starting to kind of go up, but it's still so significantly below Etsy. We're keeping an eye on it, though.
He said, how very Taurus of you to say. I sell crocheted items. Should I make my listings made to order? That is entirely up to you.
Yeah, you can, just as long as if you got like 100 orders tomorrow, you'd be able to keep up with them. You never know. You could get featured somewhere. So just make sure that you're able to keep up with demand.
See, from what I know, an Amazon driver overheard a hate comment from inside the home, reported it to Amazon, and they shut down the home.
Oh.
I don't know if I believe that, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I generally only use a VPN if I'm on my laptop while traveling or in a public place. I pretty much always have a VPN going on this computer.
Yeah.
What should I prioritize? Well, water. You can only live 3 days without water, but you can live up to 48 days without food. So water,
shelter,
water, shelter, sleep, food.
In that order.
In that order.
But Jessica, assuming that you're wanting to know something more business related, feel free to be specific, because we are happy to answer questions. We just need to know specifically what you mean by prioritization.
I started selling my ornaments year round, and I'm seeing a huge influx of sales starting in June. It has been nonstop, so list Christmas now.
Yes, and those of you who keep asking me, should I list Halloween? Yeah. We are already seeing huge searches for Halloween stuff. Joann's already has their Halloween stuff out. Michael's is starting to get all of their fall stuff listed. I did a video a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago about Bath and Body Works products leaked that are going to be launching soon. And I gave some great ideas that can be applied to print on demand, digital, just from the Bath and Body Works collection. Which is crazy because you're like, wait, don't they sell smelly things? But they have a lot of really cool art on their jar candles that can help us to see some imagery that might be trending.
Do you have any advice for how to focus when you have bad stuff going on personally? Oh boy. What are you doing?
I'm going to get my bottle here.
Your magic bottle?
My magic bottle.
It's tequila. And we're going to have people argue, but I like nootropics. This bottle's actually about to expire. Most cheap nootropics will do absolutely nothing, and the science will tell you that nootropics absolutely do nothing. And when it comes to cheap nootropics that you pay almost nothing for, that's absolutely very, very true. There are some caffeine. If you're not a heavy caffeine user already, caffeine on its own will work. We actually really like these. Woo! Qualia. They're overpriced for the ingredients that are in them, but they're absolutely wonderful and they absolutely do work. Talk to your doctor before taking anything. Not a medical practitioner, not a scientist, not a brain scientist, but we like these, placebo or not. They seem to work really well. However, for dealing with the bad stuff and trying to work, for one, if it's like truly really bad, make sure link in chat. No, we're not sponsored. Make sure that you're like talking to a professional if you need it. Mental health isn't a joke, and it's well worth the money to get that support. But trying to deal with the personal issues, or at least find some kind of resolution to move yourself forward in a healthy way, is probably the best thing. You don't want it taking away from your business because it's something that you've just decided to let sit in the back of your head. Most of the time, it's better to try to take your problems head on than try to sit and like have, oh, I'm working at half capacity while also not doing anything about this nagging issue in my head. So do what you can while you can, and then immediately try to just deal with your issues.
Yeah, in November, I've kind of mentioned it briefly, but I had something super traumatic happen in November that I've been dealing with ever since, nonstop, like keep me up at night. So terrible. Some Handmade Alpha Academy students know what it is because I've told them. But it's led to a lot of like legal stuff, having to go to court, and I mean nothing to do with the business. It's completely personal, family related. But I get it. It can be hard. The nootropics, they're asking for like the specific name.
I'm not going to send a link, but
yeah. And it's called, the one that we have is just called Focus.
yeah.
Those help me a lot. I take those as a last resort when nothing else will help, because I don't want to get reliant on anything, but they are natural, and that's
They
what I love.
you do build you don't build a chemical reliance or an addiction on them, but they do very, very quickly lose their effect. You cannot take them every day.
Yeah, so I will typically put on my headphones and turn on rain, white noise to drown out everything around me. I'm a very sensory oriented person, and I try to hyper focus. If I can get myself into a flow state, I'm usually okay. Sometimes though, there are just days when I realize I can't
do it.
I can't today. I cannot. And usually on those days, I find another positive way to use my energy. I'll go like weed my garden, or, I'll go pick up sticks in the yard, or I'll read. But there are some days when you really do need to just respect your body and give yourself a break. But if there's something that I have to do, like I have no choice. I have to script a YouTube video. I have to do, this work for eRank or something. I will occasionally take those, and they do help. Though, don't drink a bunch of coffee and take them, because I've done that in the past.
Well, there's also 100 milligrams of caffeine in a cap.
They do make your heart race. So just if you're
for any of you that work out and have taken pre-workouts, it's basically a pre-workout but with less caffeine. Because I mean
the itchies.
Yeah, well, actually, with some people, these might make them itch. Yeah, niacin, 16 milligrams. So it's not quite enough to make you itchy. You start to itch usually about 25 milligrams, but I went to school for exercise nutritional science, for those who didn't know that. I make earrings. If I have an item that I want to change the charm on for an equivalent, they're stars. Do I need to make a new listing, or should I say updated design?
If it's just a different star, it should be okay. I dare say that, most people, if they favorited that listing, as long as they see it and it's not a completely different item, maybe your last star charms aren't available anymore. I really don't see a problem in that, as long as the majority of the product is still the same. I think that would be okay.
Any idea how we share our thread handles? Like how we use our @username?
I believe that it should just be your username that you originally have for Instagram. So for example, I mean, you guys can feel free to test it and let me know real quick. If you search Handmade Alphas, no spaces, on Threads, I should pop right up. That is my username on Instagram. So I'm assuming it's the same.
Have you done Google Analytics on Etsy videos? I have no idea how to do that, but I hear it's great for tracking your sales and views. Yes.
So the new Google Analytics 4, I don't have a video on my channel yet, but Anthony Wolf over at eRank did a live demonstration last Monday. You can view that by going to the eRank YouTube channel and clicking on the live tab, and he walked through the process of setting that up. I haven't personally done it yet just because I haven't had the time. If that's what you're asking, but I have not done the latest version. I have not done the Google Analytics 4 integration. So the only video that's on my channel right now is still for Universal Analytics, which is no longer valid.
Just looking for comments, y'all. Talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love Neil Tyson. He's a fun fella. Whoa! Of course it jumped.
Oh, by the way, guys, today's charity is for water.org. I completely forgot to mention we started our new charity for the month. We'll be supporting them all month long. Water.org, they are a really great organization where they don't just provide clean drinking water, they also provide sanitation solutions and plumbing to countries that have no access to clean water, or where, you know, the people rely on like puddles and dirty water sources. They provide a lot of different water solutions that are ongoing, as opposed to just providing jugs of water, for example. They actually are trying to build ways for the people of these countries to have running tap water. So consider donating. I see that we've already got $45. Thank to everybody who is who's donated so far. We'll probably do this charity till the end of the month. I think that clean water is something that everybody should have access to. Every single person should have access to clean water and sanitation.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, we were doing research on which one we wanted to do and almost goofed up. I figured we'd just go ahead and tell you because it's actually kind of funny. So I thought she you know, we do the wolf sanctuary a couple times a year because obviously we have the whole wolf theme going on. I prefer cats, big cats. So we were like, well, let's do the big cat rescue. And we started digging into it. And one of the things that we always like to do, and I'm glad that we did, is check to see if there's any controversy behind the charities that we support. Turns out it was Carol Baskin's charity. So we very quickly had to change the one that we were doing, because while she is supporting big cats, she probably fed her husband to a cat. So, you know, well, little controversy.
No, nothing with controversy. However, we'll probably find a big cat rescue or a cat rescue to do next month. But
yeah, we'll figure something out.
We decided to go with water.org for this month.
Sex ? Are you asked? He, him, she, her. If it's an offer, no, thank you. Yes, it's great.
I'm not quite sure what the question is, but
sure.
Sex?
Maybe. You usually like to see people first.
Feel free to clarify your question a little bit more.
I want to sell mostly handmade items, but I have some POD ideas. Is it okay to have handmade and POD on the same shop? Sure.
Yeah. I would recommend making sure that your customers know that those products may ship separately. I would recommend ensuring that you are keeping a consistent theme or a niche to your shop. But yeah, I don't see any problem with it. Look at that, up to $70. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you to all of you.
I just got a review with no stars. I didn't know that was possible. So I went to the order and shipping, and it shows 5 stars from that company or customer. I'm seeing no stars as a review in the store. It's probably a glitch.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I would check back tomorrow. It sounds like that might be a glitch.
Oh, they were saying sex because of the topic of what you need to survive. Got it.
Oh.
Agree. 100%.
I love how he's just like, no, thank you.
I don't know you.
I
like to have dinner bought for me first.
He likes to be wined and dined first.
Wined and dined, that's right.
Oh, goodness.
Wine, dined, and numbered. Is there a way to reference your YouTube channel in a listing to show how an item was made, or is that a no-no?
You can. Etsy actually tells us that we can put links to demonstrations, product reviews, and things like that right in our listings, as long as they are not hosted on a platform where they can also buy products from you. But links to a YouTube video to show, like, for example, how to use this, how to hang it up, how to wear it, you know, whatever you might need to show them, you can totally do in your Etsy listings. That is a-okay.
Boop, 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 boop.
way, a pinch of salt. I've got a really great video on my channel from almost exactly 1 year ago called How to Run a Business with Anxiety. I highly recommend checking it out. I talk about some of the things that I personally do to manage my own anxiety. I have had chronic anxiety, oh God, probably forever, my whole life. And I just over the last 2 or 3 years began self-managing my anxiety, which I don't recommend everyone do. Definitely talk to a professional. Make sure that if you have actual chronic anxiety,
Yeah.
some people do need to, some medication is an option, therapy is an option. I found it very beneficial to me to learn the science behind anxiety and the actual chemical structure of, what's going on in my brain when I'm anxious. That way, better understanding it has kind of allowed me, when anxiety occurs, to respect it a little bit more and to allow it to exist, because let's face it, sometimes there are just days when you can't make it go away. You have to learn how to live with it. And in that video, I cover some of the things that I personally do. But I highly recommend it because there are some strategies in there that, I mean, not just anxiety. A lot of the things that I discuss are things that he also has used for, ADHD, and it's a really good mental health video in general.
Make sure if you have undiagnosed or think you have undiagnosed mental disorders that you're speaking with a professional, because you never know what the problem might actually be.
Right. It's quality of
For
life.
instance, I went in the military for chronic depression. I saw a psychiatrist for chronic depression issues. Person seen living room camera. Bad. And it turns out I had a severe anxiety disorder. I had a change anxiety disorder is the non-official name for it. But you don't know how to manage the issue that you have unless you know exactly what the issue you have is. And you might think you have an anxiety disorder. You might think you have depression. You might think that you have just like a low energy issue. You're not a psychiatrist. Make sure you see a professional. Don't try not to self-diagnose as much as physically possible, because you might be making your problem worse.
Absolutely.
Is the qualia a vitamin or like CBD? No. So it's vitamins, minerals, nootropics, vasodilators, and legal stimulants. As a person with depression and ADHD, I really appreciate this talk right now. Dude, I'm telling you, learning that I had ADHD completely unlocked my life, because I then knew what I needed to approach and how I needed to actually treat it. I thought I was just terrible at concentrating.
Yeah.
Somebody said gamer subs. Absolutely agree. They'll do a lot of the same things, and I believe they also sell caffeine-free versions.
Yep, we drink those we don't do gamer subs. We do
I will in the future. I don't drink them very often, so we have a bunch of I forget the brand.
Yeah. G Fuel.
Yeah, G Fuel. Gamer subs is better though.
One of my friends, the Floor Cacao's, the sock puppet comics, he has gamer subs called Anime Girl Thighs. But he's a personal friend, like been to his house, personal friend.
Shout out to Anime Girl Thighs.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
There's a button on the top of your profile for Threads, next to edit, that says share. Got it. Do you have to set up the new Google Analytics if you already had the old one set up?
Yes.
There will be different.
Yes, you'll need to go in and make the switch to Google Analytics 4. There is a great live video, like I said, over on the eRank channel. When you get to the eRank channel, you have to hit the live tab. It won't be the video from yesterday. It'll be the live stream before that on Monday. That'll be where Anthony Wolf sat with Pam Duthie, and they broke down how to do it. I was supposed to be in on that stream, but I wasn't available on Monday.
Question for out of stock on POD. When we have duplicate listings for A/B testing, I'm finding it super frustrating to have to resync or update to reflect OOS out of stock items. Any thoughts?
I assume that you probably have to do it manually. I would assume that you have to resync those. I know that with Printful, it's never an issue, but I'm not sure about Printify. I wish that I could give better advice. If you're using Printify, though, try posting in the Printify POD Rockstars group. That is my favorite group for Printify. They're very, very helpful.
Just getting started with social media. Would you suggest just diving in and winging it until I find what works, or making a big plan first? I mean, you're gonna have to learn the platforms before you can do anything. So you're gonna a mix of both, I think.
Yeah, wing it, because at first you need to, I mean, you need to expect that the first posts that you make are going to be your worst post, and that's okay because no one's going to see them. I recommend just jumping in. However, down below, I do have a free 30-day Instagram challenge kit. You can start your 30 days anytime. It's, you know, your first day is whenever you want it to be. It comes with all kinds of goodies. It comes with a content post calendar, so you can know when you need to post different types of posts. It has ideas for posts, Instagram reels. It has basically when you want to post reels, your post frequency. It's a really useful resource. I highly recommend it. And it will help you grow in 30 days as long as you're actually following through with it. We seldom see anybody who uses it and doesn't see growth. And if you don't see growth, then you know that, well, maybe I need to shake up how I'm producing content. Maybe it's the content itself that isn't attractive. And then you can just kind of change your content and you can retake it over and over again.
Does the handmade plus POD in one shop theory apply better if they're all shipping from the same country? I'm wondering if a US plus Ireland is weird. However, Amber said not.
No, I don't find that to be weird at all, just as long as you're informing them. Just make sure that your customers know. As long as they're aware of what to expect, I don't see it as an issue. We've never had an issue.
Can you put a link to join your email list in your listing?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
As long as that link isn't leading them to a page where they can buy something else. But Etsy actually tells us that it is okay to advertise our email lists within our listings.
Etsy says you can't sell Reiki listings, but I've heard people say you can sell readings with free Reiki or Reiki. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Or something like that, adding on for free, but upping the price. Is that smart?
I can't really advise on this because I don't know if Etsy is specifically looking for the keywords in order to remove those listings. So it might be a ban on the term altogether. I'm probably not the best person to ask because I'm unsure. If it's something that Etsy says isn't allowed, though, it does make me nervous that the algorithm will spot the keyword and just be like, nope, and deactivate the listing as a whole, even if it is a free edition. So unfortunately, I'm not sure, though it might be a really great, because you're in Handmade Alpha Academy, might be a really great incentive to offer for email list subscribers exclusively. That might be an option.
Can you add a link to a video on YouTube that's related to the style of your shop?
Yes, but I'm not quite sure why you would want to do that. I would need a little bit more context of what the benefit of doing that would be. I would need like a specific example. But yeah, I mean, Etsy tells us we can put links to YouTube videos.
What's the name of this mental health video?
How to run a business with anxiety. If you search Starla Moore anxiety, you should find it pretty quickly.
Also check your underlying physical health. I got diagnosed with depression when actually I had endometriosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's always true. I mean, you got to consider even just simple things such as weight loss. I mean, heavy, like consistent weight gain can cause depression.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Even not just depression because like, oh man, I feel so fat, but because like your brain does, you have a chemical imbalance.
Right.
Being healthy physically and mentally is important.
At 5'2", I was up to almost 200 pounds back in 2012. And I was the most unhappy that I've ever been in my life. And then I started bodybuilding. He was on a bodybuilding team. I wouldn't
even be able to tell now.
Right. I was in the gym twice a day. I was there pretty much all day. And I found that I was equally as unhappy doing that because I got down to 120 pounds and
was way more miserable.
I was also unhappy because my mental health was so bad because I was constantly I was unhappy with my body no matter how small I got, and I started getting into an unhealthy mindset that way. So what I found is that no matter what, you can put yourself in an unhealthy mindset. You have to do things for the right reasons. In that case, my thought was like, I want to look hot. I want to look hot. Oh, I look like crap. I look awful. I look terrible in my clothes, you know, rather than being kind to myself. And now I'm kind of like right in the middle. I'm a little chunky. I'm not really, I exercise a little bit, probably could do a little more, but I'm happy because I'm okay with myself. And I think that that's the most important thing, is making sure that you are taking care of yourself.
Also, just in mind, I wasn't speaking about being depressed about your body image. Just generalized depression can actually be caused by
Oh yeah, because
severe weight gain.
yeah, there's all kinds of things like, the pressure on your body, not getting adequate sleep because
You can't sleep in comfortable positions, things
right.
like that.
There's
Anyway,
all kinds of things.
does anyone just have ADD anymore? There were several people discussing this. So I looked into it about a year ago when I first found out that I had ADHD, that I was diagnosed with as a teenager, that my parents didn't tell me. No one can seemingly agree on whether ADD or ADHD is politically correct. From my understanding, the most politically correct is ADD, because not everyone has a hyperactivity disorder. Some people have attention deficit disorder. Some people have hyperactive attention deficit disorder. So to me, ADD is the politically correct term. And then ADD with hyperactivity is, people argue about it. But anyway, that's not what this stream's about anyway. I'm new to TikTok, and I really enjoy to make it. I just have a little time to do it. Do you recommend to start Threads despite I have another social media platform as a beginner?
Totally. I mean, the thing is, it's okay to get on there and claim your username so that you have it. Just learn as you go.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it, experiment, but really it's just another thing. It's just another place to hang out, engage with your audience, start discussions. If you can't always do it or keep up with it, it's not like you're going to miss out on some big crazy traffic. However, if it does start to explode, I'll be the first to tell you guys, like, wait, I was wrong. Everybody get on this platform, abandon ship, everything else that you're doing, stop what you're doing, go to Threads. I'll let you guys know. But right now it's brand new. We're all just learning and trying to figure out what this platform is about. So feel free to get on there.
POD syncing at Printify, you just should try and watch if many things are going out of stock, but I leave it as stock and try to sell items I can get from multiple print providers. Let's see. Whoa. I wish the chat would stop jumping. I'm having trouble getting Google Analytics to work for me. There seemed to be a glitch somewhere. Google says that it's partially loaded. I've deleted permissions and reloaded several times. Welcome to the Google Analytics struggle, yo.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do to help, though. Maybe post in the E-Rank group and see if Anthony Wolf can chime in, or Brian. He's another great, source of information. I would post in the E-Rank group specifically, though, because they're way better with the techie side of Google Analytics.
I just wanted to say thank you both for all your hard work. I can't imagine how much time and heart you put into the empire. Thank you for being a real human alongside the business aspect. We try.
I appreciate you guys. Sometimes it's hard. Like yesterday when I first started posting about Threads, I had a lot of people just get bitter with me for no reason. And I even started telling people, I'm like, I'm not quite sure why you're coming at me with this level of aggression when all I'm doing is educating. Nobody has to use the new platform, but I'm a person. I appreciate a little bit of,
respect,
kindness, it blows my mind how if I talk about something new and people are uncomfortable with the new thing, they decide to personally attack me about a new thing existing when all I'm doing is, just sharing that it exists. So
I meant a YouTube video to give people the feeling of what I'm trying to express with some of my POD products. Got it. I mean, maybe, but how many people are actually going to follow through with that would be my question.
Yeah, if you're just wanting to link to a music video or something, I don't really find it to be relevant. That's kind of, you don't want to distract them from the item. I understand what you're aiming for, trying to kind of create an ambience, trying to create a vibe. And if the music automatically played when they landed on your account, that would be different. But to me, it would just be kind of confusing. I wouldn't do that.
Are you guys ever going to do an Etsy After Dark topic? Not here. We said we were going to do that. We really should do that on our, if we do it, we'll do it on our Discord, and we'll announce it the week prior on the Friday bean. Yeah.
We've done a couple in the past, but
I mean, most of the time there's only ever like 20 or 30 people that show up to them. Then again, there are significantly fewer after dark. However, for those of you who sell adult products, maybe we'll plan one for after we get back. Maybe sometime in August.
You plan it.
Don't you tell me what to do.
You can plan it.
Don't tell me what to do. I have a makeup artistry business and an Etsy business. Do I have to have two different devices to use threads for them, or just log out of one and log into the other as I need if I make two threads?
Yes, you can log out and log into the other, which is such a pain in the butt. I can't wait until they add the ability to toggle. I'm assuming that they will, because Instagram has that ability. But as of right now, you have to completely log out and log into a new account, which really sucks. I've already tagged them in a post about it. Like, hey, we need the ability to toggle.
Let's see. Meta is an awful company. Pretty much any company owned by a billionaire or higher is an awful company. Let's be real.
Oh, Adam Basari just posted the goal isn't about replacing Twitter. It's to create a public space for communities on Instagram that are interested in a less angry place for conversations. Absolutely
All about
agree.
it.
It doesn't even feel like Twitter. I mean, it kind of looks like Twitter, but it doesn't feel like Twitter as of right now.
I'm curious if bots or trolls leave comments on a post you create on Threads. Do we have the ability to delete those comments?
Yes, I believe that you should have the ability to delete comments or just ban, block the person. That way the comment no longer shows up. I haven't experienced any yet.
What? There's a Discord? Yes, there is. We really don't use it as much as we should, though. It became another thing that we have to manage, and we just do not have time for it. But we should get in there and do more. That's all the questions that we have.
All right.
No multi-login. No, as of right now, it doesn't have multi-login, but I'm sure that they'll add the capability later on. It feels like, and hear me out here, it kind of feels like with all the stuff that's going on with Twitter and the fact that Twitter literally announced their limited post capability like the day before this platform was announced and released.
5 days.
5 days.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
It kind of sounds like they rushed to finish it into a safe releasable product as quickly as possible before the hate for Twitter stopped, so people would move over to this platform. So it does seem like a direct competitor to Twitter, and it seems very, very intentional, though they probably won't.
April said, HAA. I haven't done the photography class yet. Does it also talk about making/editing videos? No, because it's photography. For video editing, we actually don't cover any of that in Handmade Alpha Academy, because that is not, I mean, there are little things that you can edit, like your Etsy listing videos and things, but it's so far from Etsy that it's not something that we cover, and it could warrant an entire class on its own. However, I have a great YouTube video talking about how to use CapCut for video editing, like Instagram Reels and TikTok videos. I highly recommend checking that out. But CapCut is the editor that I personally use and that I prefer. Excuse me. I recommend checking that out. The video was posted, I think, last year, but it's still relevant. The only thing that's changed since the time that I posted that video is that at the time there were no paid features for CapCut, and now they have added some paid features. But for the most part, the app is free. But video editing, I mean, it can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be. You can get really complex with it, which isn't something I feel comfortable teaching, like how to use Premiere Pro, for example, because even as someone who edits their own videos, if I need to learn something new, I have to Google it in the moment to learn how to do it. I don't feel comfortable teaching something that is so vast when there are experts out there that spend years just teaching that specific type of content. But when it comes to small editing apps like CapCut, they're really easy to use and very user-friendly. So that's why I don't have any exclusive content on video editing within HAA, because I've just kind of produced that content for free to everybody.
The Discord could be a private group chat people were asking for on Facebook. I think so. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord, again, we're not really in there. I have a mod bot to keep people from being, crappy. But here's the Discord link. If you use Discord, feel free to join. Pretty
Yeah.
much anybody can join. Don't be a stinker. The rules are pretty clear.
Oh, and Linda, thank you for reminding me, guys. Today, my episode of the Printify Profits podcast
Oh, yeah.
posted. You guys can find it on Spotify. You guys can find it on the Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the places, and it should be posting on their YouTube channel in the next few days. I am on episode 9, and I wish I could tell you what we talked about, but we recorded it back in April, so I can't even remember. All I remember is that it was really short, and I was like, oh man, I wish we could have talked more. But I don't remember what we talked about, but feel free to listen to it. I posted it on my Instagram stories today.
I love Discord. That's where I have my community. Discord is a great place because you don't have to moderate it yourself. You can just stick a bot on it and have it do its thing, and people can kind of run your discussion forum without you even having to be there. I think I'm going to downsize ours a little bit. I think I have too many places for people to post. It's too much for us to look through on a daily basis when we already have to talk to so many people. That's all we have, unless you have any announcements. I don't know. We get 250 people and we're somehow running out of questions out of nowhere. So
I know, it's crazy.
It's weird.
Guys, this upcoming Tuesday, I'm going to have a shorter video on Threads. So make sure that you keep an eye out for that, especially if you joined this late and you don't want to sit and rewatch the whole thing. I'll be covering some highlights on Threads and some of my personal opinions. Other than that, I really don't think we don't have any big events on the horizon.
I don't think we have anything coming up. We will be going on vacation in 2 weeks.
But we'll be here for the Friday Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I won't be here for is not this upcoming Thursday's eRent Q&A, but the week after. I won't be here for that.
We're going to be getting home the day before that Friday Bean.
I'm going to have it scheduled ahead of time.
Goodness.
So,
well, I hope you guys had a fun 4th of July. I hope you guys stay safe. Yeah, it is very oddly quiet for as many people as are here.
What are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing?
What are you doing right now?
What are you doing?
Why aren't you talking? What are you up to? Are you all sitting around in your living rooms watching us on the TV? What are you doing? I see you on your couch drinking your coffee with your dog sitting next to you. At least one person is going to be like
hot and demotivated, bro.
It is very hot today.
I feel that.
Where's the eRank Q&A?
On the eRank channel, dog.
Yeah, dog. It's over on the eRank channel. Yo, go over there. It's every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern with me and Pam Duthie. We did one yesterday. You can go watch the replay of that if you're interested. But that is just an additional place where you can come chat and hang out every week. I will be there this upcoming Thursday. Next Thursday, it'll either get canceled or Pam and Anthony Wolf might do it together. But they're a lot of fun. It's a great way to go and chat and, get additional questions in if you have them about eRank or SEO. Me.
What's your favorite color? Green.
I don't have one. It depends.
I'm cleaning my new nose piercing. Gross. Booger metal.
I only read I'm cleaning my new nose and I was like, oh, did you get plastic surgery? Are you cleaning your new nose? We're tired. If you guys couldn't tell from
I'm just trying to drag this out to 1:30 before we can cut the stream. YouTube likes it when streams are consistent.
Yeah. It's fun to hang out with you guys. Any other weird...
No, that's pretty much it. Somebody had said we had missed a question, but I read them in order. So
if it contained the word Instagram, it might have gotten skipped.
What's your opinion on AI art for POD canvas selling on Etsy? If it is ethically sourced AI content, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, as long as it's not stealing content. I think that it has its place. I don't think that it should be listed alongside art that's painted by hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be in its own category. But ultimately, my opinions don't really matter. It just depends on Etsy's views and how they proceed in the future with AI art and how they distinguish it from handmade products.
All right, we're at the 1:30 mark. We love you guys. We will see you next Tuesday for her video and next Friday for the next Friday Bean.
Feel free to follow me on Threads. It's just Handmade Alphas. I'll be over there experimenting and having fun.
I'll go ahead and put the Discord here again for those of you who may have missed that. Feel free to join the Discord if you have Discord. If not, no pain. We're not in there right now, but there's probably like 200 something people. So we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Keep waving.
Oh, yeah, we don't
You
have an
forget
outro.
every week.
I know.
She'll eventually remember, guys.
I've got a good outro template. You just have to design it because it's in After Effects.
You and I have our idea for our outro, remember?